Hello everyone, and welcome to the first part of my Understanding Software Processes series. This video will cover the following topics. We'll be discussing the importance of software process, key activities, and a couple of software process models in short. It is important to understand about software processes because software development isn't just about writing code, it's about following a well-structured approach to ensure we can build reliable, maintainable, and effective systems. And software development is complex and needs structured guidance. Let's say a team is building a mobile banking app. There are dozens of features like login, transactions, bill payments, security. Each feature needs to be planned, designed, coded, tested, and integrated with others. Now imagine trying to do all that without a clear plan or process. Developers might work on overlapping features, testers might not know what to test, and deadline could be missed. That's why structured guidance, a software process, is essential. It brings order to the chaos. Think of it as a recipe or a roadmap. This is why software processes are so important. It helps guide the team through this complexity. It ensures that we meet deadlines, manages resources wisely, and deliver high quality software. Without solid process, even the best developers can struggle to stay organized. It also reduces risk of failure or scope creep. It promotes collaboration and communication. It also ensures consistency and predictability across projects. And predictability is a good thing in this case. A project, even if completed, can be classed as a failure if completed outside its duration and resource constraints. Now, let's move on to key process activities. The first key activity is specification. This is where we figure out what the customer or user needs. We gather requirements and document them clearly. If this step is skipped or rushed, the final product might not do what's supposed to do. The output of this step is a software requirements specification or an SRS document, which contains all the information regarding the requirements and the scope of the project. And after specification, we move into design and implementation, where we actually start building the system. And once it's built, we do validation. This is where we test the software to make sure it meets the original requirements. And the combined process of implementation and validation can be non-linear and iterative as well, depending on the type of project. The system can be built and tested incrementally so as to ensure the smaller modules are functional and running without any errors. And finally, there's evolution, which means updating the software as new needs arise or bugs are found, and continuous maintenance and improvement of the system. And to better manage these activities, we use what are called software process models. These are abstract representations that show us how the process should flow. Some projects work best with a strict linear approach like the waterfall model. Other needs more flexibility, which is where agile or the spiral model comes in. The choice of model depends on the project's size, risk, and the team's workflow. And here's a diagram showing differences in the workflow of Waterfall and Agile. And as you can see, Waterfall is quite linear and sequential, whereas Agile is iterative and flexible. Waterfall requires complete requirements upfront. Agile doesn't. Agile adapts as needs evolve. Changes are harder to accommodate in Waterfall, but easily managed in Agile. And one might think that Waterfall is inferior to Agile due to its inflexibility. It has its own uses. Waterfall suits projects with fixed scope. Agile suits dynamic evolving projects, but sometimes project with Agile can easily balloon out of its budget and time constraints due to endless revisions. Also, the customer involvement is minimal in Waterfall, but it's quite continuous in Agile. And therefore, choosing the right process involves team performance. It improves team performance and results. And that's why understanding software processes is really important for any software development. And yeah, that's all for this video. If you have any questions, comment it down below. Thank you, and see you in the next one.